Xnel here, and I want to talk about the reason why people are quitting Genshin Impact. The real reason. Spoiler alert, it's not Resin. This is something veteran players know about, they feel it, but they just can't quite put their finger on it. They don't know what it's called. Now, this is not meant to hate on the game, but more so to point out some flaws and to make the game better. If you're new, if you haven't tried Genshin Impact before, by all means do so. I highly recommend it. It's free. It's a free game with so much content, probably gonna take you 2-3 months to consume the content. It's got crisp action combat, amazing anime graphics, and waifus and husbandos. Basically, it's a great deal for a free-to-play game. This video is for those who have been playing for a long time now. So what is the reason? Well, in game design, you want to develop progression systems. Systems that reward players for their time or effort or skill that they have put into the game. Now, there's two types of this. There's the vertical progression and the horizontal progression. Genshin suffers heavily from both types of progression. So what is vertical and horizontal progression? Vertical progression refers to following a specific path and getting further and further along that path. In many games, that's your character getting stronger and stronger over time, getting better stats, doing higher damage, unlocking stronger skills, getting better gear, etc. Horizontal progression refers to having more options available to you. In other games such as MMORPGs, these are alternative ways to progress rather than focusing on combat, like being a crafter or a gatherer or a miner. In Genshin's case, the horizontal progression is getting more characters, having more options when creating a team, having access to different elements and different playstyles. So these are the two main ways in which games reward their players. And Genshin, as I said, suffers massively in both. Let's start with the vertical. In Genshin Impact, you can max out a character within 2 weeks if you plan well. It's even worse if you prepared ahead of the character's release. You can max them out within the first 5 minutes of release. All that's left is the artifact system, and since it's pure RNG, it doesn't count as real progress. It's too unreliable. You could get the best artifact on the first domain run, or it could take you 5 months. Terrible system. No pity mechanics. You could go for months with zero progress because every artifact you get is worse than the ones you already have. So we are completely disregarding that. This means that we as players can't make our favorite character stronger even if we wanted to. I personally like underdog characters, like Amber, and it's painful to not have any way of making them stronger and up to par with other characters. There's literally zero reason to use Amber when you've unlocked other Pyro characters. So not being able to progress vertically eats away at all of the grinders, all the gamers, and it eventually comes to a point where they can't think of goals to set within the game and therefore lose motivation to even start it up. I know that's how I feel whenever I think about opening the game. What do? I can't make my genes stronger, can I? Now I'm doing videos like these because it's one of the only ways I can come up with content for you guys. So there is little to zero vertical progression. But wait, we are not done. This problem is then exacerbated by the terrible horizontal progression. So what do you need to get more characters or more weapons? Primo gems. But you don't get a lot of Primo gems. At least not enough to get all the characters you want, unless you spend inordinate amounts of money. And even if you spend money, you're still subject to RNG. Yes, there's a pity system, but to get there, you still need to spend a lot of money. So now you have a game with zero vertical progression, because the game just doesn't let you. Then you can't do horizontal progression, because it would break the bank. What do? You move on to another game. I might say, well, Xnel, what about the new maps and puzzles and quests and world exploration? I want you to think about those other open world games, like say Skyrim, when you encounter an NPC with a mysterious quest, or there's that cave in the distance or that mountain, you want to go there and explore it. What goes on in the back of your head when those things happen? You want to do those because you know that there's going to be a reward at the end. Maybe a shiny new weapon or armor or a new skill. That's why you want to keep doing them. In Genshin, what do you get? A couple of enhancement ores, some Mora, and sometimes, get this, you get a whopping 2 Primo Gems. So if you can open 80 of those chests, you get to do 1 pull. Congratulations! After all that hard work, here is your prize, a trash 3-star weapon. So what I'm trying to say is, the new content, the new maps, new quests, they are being pulled down by the inherent problem of the game, which is the progression systems, or lack thereof. Same thing with the resin system. It's fine if the game only lets you play for 15 minutes a day, as long as you're making meaningful progress, you'll come back to it every day. But that's not true, is it? Now, there's probably nothing we can do about horizontal progression, that's just their business model. Sure, we'd love better rates and more primo gems, but it is what it is. We chose this gacha life. Vertical progression, however, I think is very solvable. What Genshin Impact needs to do is to increase the level cap, develop new talents or skills. It could even be just passive skills or more charges of the active skills, because outright new active skills will probably take way more work. Unlocking these new passives might only make the character marginally stronger, but that's still progress. And we gamers love getting 1% stronger, or even just new skins. Gamers love to flex, and what better flex than getting a skin as a reward for focusing on your favorite character. The game also needs daily grindable endgame content to justify stronger characters, because there's no reason to get stronger if you can already do Spiral Abyss with relative ease. Oh, and don't tell me Spiral Abyss is endgame content, because a real endgame is something you can do every day, not once in 2 weeks. Then this endgame content is where you get the materials to make the characters stronger. It should be faster to do in co-op, thereby encouraging cooperative play and engagement. There should also be some randomized or roguelike elements to it to keep it fresh. Something like the Spiral Abyss, but with a high amount of floors and randomized enemies, buffs, debuffs to really keep the players on their toes. The team comp would need to have a healthy mix of elements and tools to deal with different challenges. It would also encourage co-op even more, as players who specialize in different single characters can form a team of their very best and take on the content and see how far they can go. It should be impossible to complete all the floors for players who are just getting into the endgame, and it should be almost impossible for players who have been in the endgame for a long time. That will keep it competitive. Everybody's gonna have that flex culture, gonna post it online if they reach this certain floor. It's gonna keep everybody interested. That's my recommendation anyway. How do you feel about Genshin's progression system, and what do you think should be added to make players feel challenged or rewarded? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in our Discord. That's discord.gg/xfam. No! Don't let Miula die twice in one. In one run. You have gone you? Do I have gone you?